All right, welcome to this week's Coffee Talk. We're so lucky to have a guest coach with us, Tracy Hope, organization coach. Thank you so much for being here. Do you want to just tell everybody a little bit about what you do?
Yes, Stacy,
Good.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much. I help people get organized and I help them get organized in their home. I have a program for that. And I also help people organize the back end of their businesses. So that's fun as well. And I work one-on-one and I have programs for both of those. I've been an organizer for 17 years, so I've seen it all. And combining that with life coach training and certification, the two work together to just get you results.
I love that. I love that. So, this challenge is really about setting some like baseline habits. We want to start our year off with things that aren't too much, but that we can just reliably do. So, I know when I have tried to get organized, I kind of get overwhelmed. So, what is one of the most common sort of ways that you see people get overwhelmed or like a bottleneck that sort of derails their best intentions?
Yes, I think the biggest bottleneck is starting from the identity that you're disorganized. And
Oh,
I know this seems like counterproductive, like I can't think I'm organized until I'm organized. But when you start from the place, like I'm a mess, I'm a piler, I'm sentimental, I don't make decisions fast, then that's what you're going to create. And as a coach, if you have coaches, like that makes sense, but that is so key. So play around with the fact that, I mean, you could even go extreme, like I'm extremely organized and start from that. And if that feels too hard, go into like, I don't know, some people call it method acting or alter ego, like pretend you're someone else that is super organized and take action from that person. I think that will be so helpful as you start organizing.
yeah, so we talked, so you hit on two things, sort of this thought ladder that we like to teach, right? Like if you just need to get a little bit further along from I'm a mess, like, or I'm learning to be organized. I love that. Like I'm learning is always a good thought ladder, or I'm not organized yet, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
And
I
then
used to be disorganized and now I'm really organized or
yeah,
something.
and this idea of future you, like what would
Yeah.
the organized you do? Like when you are this organized person, how would you do this? I love that. What if someone just wanted to get started and wanted one thing, like where do you say like you could do this today to get started?
Yeah. I would say, I mean, first, treat organizing like a project. So, yes, you could just pick a drawer totally. And I have a 15-minute organizing challenge. I've been having people do this 15 minutes, and it has like literally changed how they view it because they think it's going to take so long and be so complicated. And when they do this and they start their timer, and I give an example of me doing a drawer, it took 13 minutes to completely do my neighbor's junk drawer. So it wasn't mine, it was my
Yeah,
neighbor's, and it took 13 minutes. So you can do so much more than you think you can. I think we spend more time dramatically, spinning about how long it's going to take and how you're not good at it. But I also like to treat it like a project. So plan it out, like put a start time and an end time and put what you're working on in an area and stay with the project. Because I think we all think, oh, I got to organize my whole home. I just got to do all of it or my whole business and all my files. And it just becomes so overwhelming. So think of it like a project I'm going to work on in Q1 or this month or this week I'm going to do my bathroom. So then you have a timeline for yourself.
I love that. Do you recommend people do, I think I know the answer because you do your 15-minute challenge, but sometimes I find like you want to do this whole room. Like
Mhm.
this weekend, I'm going to do this whole room. Do you think that that's harder than the 15 minutes? Because I can see both sometimes, but I love the idea of just 15 minutes. And you're right. If you set a timer, you get so much more done than you think.
I know, I know. So to answer that question, that's a great question. And I think you know yourself well. If you can last, because even me, and I've been doing this in people's homes forever. So even me, when we used to do my daughter's bedroom, there comes a point when you just have no focus left, like you can't endure it to the end, and then you leave it a big mess. So I think if you want to do it all in one time period, let's say you're going to do your closet and you want to do it all in one chunk of time on the weekend, still go in 15 minutes. Just because it leaves it not a huge mess. So take out all your tank tops and in 15 minutes go through those and then put back the ones you're keeping where they're going to live, like you're assigning homes to them. And then take out your jeans next or pants and get all the pants done. And you can do that in, 15 minutes or two 15-minute increments. And do it like that so you can pause and not be overwhelmed with a big mess.
Oh, I love that idea. I love that. I know sometimes I'll try and do like where I am. So if I'm getting ready in the morning and I'm like waiting for something, I'll be like, well, let me just do like this section of my makeup. Like, is there anything I can get rid of?
Yes.
So I do talk about asking better questions sometimes. So tell me how your thoughts about this because I find I used to be a little bit of a hoarder, but maybe my husband maybe is worse than I am. And so I have started asking the question like, can I live without this? As
Mm.
opposed to, will I ever use this? So do you think that's helpful? I'm guessing yes, but are there other questions like that that can sort of help us let go of some stuff?
Yes, I like the method of choosing my favorites. So my acronym is SPACE. You sort, purge, assign homes, contain, and energize. But the first step is to sort. So now you have all the like stuff with like stuff. And then you can look at a pile of the same category and you can choose your favorites. And by doing that, you're pulling those out, the ones you use and love and go to, and then you're looking at the rest of the stuff. And let's say another trick, like your question is great. Another trick could be my default decision is not to keep it. And so in order to keep it, I have to I like to know where you're going, like you have a destination in the GPS. Maybe that is a limited space you're putting things into. So if you pick your favorites, then you know it fits into that space. Or maybe it's like for me, an example with pens. I want to feel elevated or rich. I don't know what exactly that means, but in with pens, I only want my favorite pens to surround me. And so it's easy then for me, because I know that's my destination, to then let go of all the other cruddy pens I pull out and don't like how they write. And so you can think of that. So set little rules and know where you're going is really helpful in using the favorites method.
I love that. And I remember I did this and I got all my shirts out and I was really surprised by how many very similar like tan shirts I had. Like apparently I really like a tan shirt. And so I think I had four long sleeve tan shirts that were all very, very similar. But until I kind of got them all in one place, I had no idea because they were like one was in the closet, one was in the drawer, one was in this other drawer. And so it was really helpful to get them all. And then you kind of see like, oh my gosh, like I have 10 staplers or whatever it is.
That's
That,
so
that
true.
does make it a little easier to just when you have talk about homes. I find giving things homes, but teaching other people where the home is can be hard. Do you have any tips or tricks for that?
Well, I think if you have a family in your house and you have to have other people, having buy-in is good. So even asking them, where do we all want to decide that this item should live? And then the other thing that's super helpful is having labels.
Yeah.
Have labels where it goes so that people know. I had a woman or client that had five boys and she redid her pantry and we put tubs in there with labels on the front of them. And I mean, they were just not fancy tubs with certain snacks in each one. And the boys got so excited because they know like where I go to get my lunch or where I go if I'm helping unpack the groceries and dumping things into a certain spot. So labels are a big help for everyone. And
Yeah.
this could be as simple as like blue packing tape or like painting tape and a Sharpie. It doesn't have to, you don't have to have a fancy label maker and, go buy a bunch of stuff.
Right. I love that. And I know when I did this for my boys' playroom, they couldn't read yet. And so I found like Etsy, these like labels that were just pictures. So if you've got like people that can't read, we can just like put pictures on that bin. So it was like balls or like trucks, right? Or vehicles, whatever. And it was just a picture. And they figured it out pretty much. Like we still have to go
Yeah.
back and resort sometimes, but they did pretty well with that. So sometimes they can do better than you think sometimes.
Yes, for sure.
What is one simple thing if I was, just I know as a busy woman, I have a tendency to overcomplicate things. And so this January challenge, I really want people to just like the simplest baseline. So if we were just going to say a baseline, like what can I do in January that's simple that I can build off of later? What would you suggest?
The first thing that comes to my mind is to put a recurring appointment on your calendar, like on the first of every month. That just, and I usually do this like at 7 a.m. So it's not blocking other appointments and I can slide it into place when I'm going to do it. But that just is plan organizing project. So very simple. And you're just going to decide at the beginning of the month. And I do this in my Organized Life Academy. We have a planning call where we do this. So if you're not in there, you just need a reminder, like what's one thing I'm going to focus on this month to organize and plan, then block off 15 minutes, an hour, whatever you want to do, a certain time each week to do that organizing project and keep it small. Keep it so simple. Like I'm going to do 4 drawers in the kitchen, or I'm going to do under my sink in my bathroom, or I'm going to do my jeans or something like that. So you just have really simple, but just getting in the habit of doing one project each month.
I love that. And it's just something fun I did last year. I don't know if you would like this. We'll see. But I got colored trash bags. And those were my purge trash bags. And so then I knew at the end of the year, if I had used them, that I could have this like I gave away or threw away like 100 bags of stuff or whatever it was. And so it really helped me stay motivated because, as the role of trash bags got less, I could feel like I really did something. Because it's hard sometimes to really see the change that you've made. So are there
Yeah.
any other like tricks or something so we can feel that accomplishment, especially if stuff's in a drawer? Like once the drawer is closed, it's hard to remember like I did something, I accomplished something. So
Yeah, I love that. Stacy, I've never heard that before. That is so fun. And it also makes me think I like to put a donation bin somewhere or bag or trash bag, but you could put the bin. We used to have it behind the laundry room door. And then you could put like 10 trash bags underneath, like in the bin. And then when you ran out, you would see, you'd be so motivated. So that came to my mind. The other thing that I was thinking of was now I'm like, well, I think I've lost that. What was the other thing? What was the question? So I can try to remember that.
Sometimes it's hard to see, like remember what you've accomplished.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like
So,
visual or like how can we remind ourselves that we've been organizing, right? So
yes.
I do the chores in my kitchen and I do one every day, and then at the end of the week, like it doesn't maybe really look different.
Yeah. So I would say, and this is what some of the women in Organized Life Academy have done, they have set up the donation pickup to come to their house. And so if you did that once a month and they came at a certain day and they would pick up like 2 boxes or 3 boxes or bags or whatever on your driveway, it's such a motivation for them to get things put out by the curb. So that's another idea that I think would be helpful. And even if you're scrambling right before that, the night before,
Right.
it's totally fine, but you are getting things out of your house. It's working.
I love that. I love that. So yes, last year I tried to purge a certain number of trash bags, and then I did a no, like not bring new stuff in.
Yes.
So, do you have any tips or tricks about that? Because I know in 2024, I tried to do that. I was like, oh, I'm going to purge, but I was still bringing in. And so last
Yeah.
year, I was like, okay, I'm just filling as I'm emptying. So I need to do something different. So do you have any tips or tricks? Like we've gone through our organization, we have a good system set up, our baseline is in, but like we're still bringing in.
Yeah, so I like to think before you bring something in, before you are about to buy it, stop and say, where is this going to live? And so you know that it needs a place to live. And this, like back when I was in people's homes, they would get rid of stuff and they'd always be like, Tracy, you can have whatever you want. And I mean, there was some nice stuff they were letting go of. But every time by the end of our session, I'd be like, I don't have a place for that. I don't want that. I don't have any place to put it. By knowing where that I need to find a place for it to live, it keeps me from getting a lot of stuff and bringing stuff in. So I think that's the first question I would ask. Or, what do I need to get rid of to bring this into my house? And then you just might be too tired to make that decision. So you decide not to bring it in.
I do that if we're going to say yes to new opportunities. Like, well, what do you have to say no to then? Right?
Ooh,
We're
so
all
good.
kind of living at capacity, right?
Yeah.
So if we are going to bring something new, we have to let go of something. So whether that's a new task or a new object, right? We have to find where is it going to go and what do I need to purge to make that happen.
Yeah. So good.
All right. Any final sort of tips, tricks, or things that you think would be helpful?
I recently did a session in front of lots of people doing the 15-minute organizing. And what they told me they took away that was the most helpful was, first of all, to sort first. Most people walk in, and I'm included. I walk in my closet and I'm like, oh, what should I get rid of? I need to get rid of some stuff. And I pick something up and I'm just so, I don't know. And so I put it back and I leave. So sort first. That is key because you're not having to use decision-making power. And then the other thing they said that I didn't realize this would be so helpful, is to have an elsewhere bin sitting with you. So if you're making decisions on a category and something lives elsewhere, put it in the elsewhere bin and then put it away at the end of your session. Don't walk out of the area you're working on because you'll get distracted and you'll start doing something else. Then one lady said, Tracy, I'm amazing at going through the organizing steps now, but I have elsewhere bins all over and I'm not following through with them. What should I do? And I said, do the same thing. Bring them all together in one place, sort them into location, then that would be the category, and then take one pile at a time, purge anything if you can now, and then go put it away. And she sent pictures after that and she was like, it was amazing. So just know you are so capable and you have the ability to follow the organizing steps. You can get my 15-minute declutter challenge to see what the steps are and to learn exactly what to do in order to do that.
I love that. Perfect. And we'll make sure everyone has the link to that as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much. This was super helpful, especially for me. I just get really easily overwhelmed, and so I think the 15 minutes it would be very helpful. Just to
And Stacey, it's so cool because once you learn the 5 steps to organize anything, when you notice you're overwhelmed, you use the same 5 steps to organize your brain. You get all the thoughts out. You then go through each category, you purge, you assign homes, you contain them. I mean, it's so cool because you learn these steps and you can use them with every single thing in your life.
perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. I know this was super helpful, so I really appreciate it.